Welcome guys to the fifth episode in this series of Core Java, and today we will be discussing about packages in Java, and we will do some programs on the two very famous packages. One is util, the name is util, and another package whose name is IO. Now, what do I mean by packages? First, we should have a deep understanding of what actually is packages. So, if I take an example of a library, so when we enter a library, do we see all the books piled up into a sort of a hill arrangement, and then we have to enter this and pluck out any book of our choice? So is this the arrangement in the library, or I'll show you one more slide, this one, or are the books piled up in racks and shelves properly, neatly, with each rack having its title? So if these are books regarding to a particular subject, let's say science, this is for computers, for commerce, for arts, sports, and blah blah blah. So which way do you feel is more convenient, or which way do y'all see in the library? This style or this style? So naturally this is more chaotic. This will create a lot of chaos. So if I dump all the books at once and ask the customer or the subscriber to fetch a book, this is impossible. So what we do is, this style is more appropriate and more user friendly. Similarly, Java has two types of Java piles up all the classes. Java developers have made lots and lots of classes, hundreds and thousands of classes. So they don't put all the classes under one folder. They don't put all the classes under one folder. What they do is they segregate the classes as per their usage in different racks. So here, if you were to relate with Java, the shelves can be thought of as the packages, and the books can be thought of as the classes or interfaces. We have studied what is a class in C++. Interfaces we'll do later on. So now what you can think of is, a package is a group of classes and interfaces. So these shelves, what we see, are your packages. So Java arranges the classes in the package format. So see, similarly, if I take this example, if we have a collection of movies on a hard disk, we will not dump all the movies in one folder, will we? What we will do is, we'll make small segregations and small subheadings. So the main folder will be movies. In that movies main folder, as per the genre of the movie, we will categorize the movie. So we'll have a genre called rom-com, action, fiction. Fiction will have further categorized into animation, sci-fi. Then we have biopics. So what these black color rectangles mean are your folders, am I right? Then these ovals, red color oval, are your MP4 files, the name of the movies. And if you have a poster of that celebrity in a rom-com, you mean if the actor who's posing in a rom-com pose, so what you will do is, you'll put that poster in this folder. So if you have a folder of a celebrity who's posing in an action pose, so what you will do is, you'll put such posters what you have in this folder also. So this folder will have collection of the movies as well as the poster of your favorite celebrity in that pose. So if you have the so if someone who's fond of Sushant Singh Rajput and he is being shown as MS Dhoni, so what you'll put is, you'll put Sushant Singh Rajput's photo of MS Dhoni in this folder of biopics. You'll not put it in any other folder. So the black color rectangles are your folders, the red color ovals are your files, movie files, the MP4 files, and the diamond, the blue color diamond, are your photos. Am I clear? So similarly, if you understood this chronology, we should understand packages also in Java. So packages are of two types: built-in packages and user-defined packages. The Java developers has given you a vast library of packages which we can use, and you can make your own package also as per your customized requirement. So we have a chapter coming on later on named as packages. In that we will discuss and study how do we make our own packages. So today's topic will be revolving around this topic, built-in packages. So this is how Java stores your classes and your packages. So the main folder is named as Java, and if you observe in packages, whenever Java names the packages, it uses all smalls. There is not a single capital letter in the package name. So all JAVA is all small letters. So these black color rectangles are your packages. Packages then will have sub packages, like folder will have subfolder. The movies folder had subfolders, rom-com, action, comedy. Similarly, the main Java folder will have the main Java package will have sub packages. So I have listed down few packages, only a hand few I have listed down for this video's reference, and as we progress with the further episodes, we will be discussing other packages also in detail as and when needed. You can think of each chapter of your syllabus is based on a separate package. So we have a chapter called AWT that has a separate package. We have a chapter called as Applet that has a separate package. We have a chapter called as database connectivity that will have a separate package called as SQL. So each chapter will be revolving around some package. We'll be using some package. So here I have just used the most common packages. So Java is a main package. In that package we have a sub package. So a package can contain a sub package. So we have a package called as util, and util contains these classes. So one of the classes, these are few of the classes which I am showing you all. So util contains a class called scanner, util contains a class called vector, util contains a class called calendar, and util also contains an interface called as collection. So I have given the key over here. The black rectangles are your package names, the red ovals are your classes, and the blue diamond are your interfaces. So each package is a collection of classes and interfaces as mentioned earlier. As mentioned earlier, a package is your shelf and the books can be thought of as the classes and interfaces. So each package is a collection. So in each package we will have a set of classes and a set of interfaces. As we study deeper, we will come to know which class belongs to which package. Now we just need to be very simple and we'll be studying only these two packages today, util and IO. If you observe, the AWT package further contains a sub package, like how we had in our movie section. We had fiction and then we further had animation and sci-fi. So a folder can contain a subfolder also. So a package can contain sub package. So this is a tree hierarchy structure. So Java, which contains AWT contains events. So the AWT package contains these classes: text field, label, button. The events package contains these interfaces: action listener, mouse listener. The applet package contains the applet class. So as we go in deep, as in the future episodes, we'll be discussing all these classes in details because each package is based on a separate chapter. Now, how do we use the inbuilt packages? How do we use the inbuilt packages? So if you want to accept the details from, so if I say add two numbers and accept the two numbers from the user, don't let the programmer enter the hard coded values. The two numbers should be entered by the user. So to accept input from the user, we have two very famous classes in Java called as scanner and buffered reader. They complement each other. They are alternatives. So if we are going to buy a new motor, a scooter. So what we have options of choosing Activa or Jupiter. Either of them we can choose. So if we are to accept input from a user, we can choose either of them. You can either go with scanner or you can either go with buffered reader. Scanner is very easy compared to buffered reader. Scanner is very easy. So no one will force you all to use a specific class. It's up to the programmer's discretion what he or she feels easier. So if you find scanner as easier, you can go with scanner. If you find buffered reader as easier, you can go with buffered reader. Both have their own advantages. So let's take a small example. So first I'll be taking example for scanner, and then I'll be taking the example for buffered reader. So what are these? These are your classes, right? Scanner is a class and buffered reader also is a class. We all know the understanding of classes and objects, right? So I've just made a small sort of diagram for your reference. This is the core, the basic, the fundamental understanding of your OOPS concept, classes and objects. So let's take a real world example. Why do we buy the mold? If we go to a supermarket and we buy a mold, why do we buy the mold? Just for the sake of buying the mold, to keep it in the showcase? No, the answer is to bake a cake out of it. Perfect. Then why do we bake a cake? And from one mold you can make n number of cakes, right? And all these cakes will have attributes of the mold. So if the mold is star shape, if the mold is heart shape, the cakes will also be of heart shape. So why do we make the cakes? Okay, if is the mold, we buy the mold to bake the cakes. Why do we bake the cake? To eat it. So each has its own actions. Similarly, if we replicate this example in OOPS concept, this mold can be thought of as the class, and these cakes can be thought of as the objects. And from one class you can make n number of objects, and all the objects will inherit the properties of the class. So now, why do we create a class? So that we can create its object. So this is your class. Why do we buy the mold? So that we can create its object. So if we have a class scanner, these are few, in fact rather two functions, two methods which are there in the scanner class. There is a function called as nextInt, which has some definition. The definition is given to them by the Java developers because it is an inbuilt class. And we have a function called as nextFloat, which has some definition. Like this, we have many more methods in the scanner class which the Java developers have written. This is an inbuilt class. So whatever is there in this class is written by the Java developers. So if you do the postmortem of this scanner class, you will find it contains few methods. Few of them are nextInt and nextFloat. So if I create an object of the scanner class, this is the syntax to create a object in Java. I'll be discussing this later on in this video. So if the scanner class, if I make an object of the scanner class, let's say SC is that object. SC is that object of the scanner class. Now what will I do with SC? So why do we buy the mold? To bake the cake. Why do we bake the cake? To eat it. Why do we create a class? So that we can create its object. Why do we create an object? So that using the object we can call the methods of the class. So if I want to call the method nextInt and nextFloat, I have to call it via the object, using the object. So I will call st.nextInt, st.nextFloat. This is the core understanding of OOPS. So if you're comfortable with these two questions and you can answer these two questions, your understanding will be quite thorough. So you create a class to create its objects, and once the object is created, using the object we can call the methods of the class. So I will to call nextInt and to call nextInt and to call nextFloat. What will I do? I will require the object of the class scanner. Using that object I can call these functions. So let's go back to our previous video, previous slide. So to accept the input from the user, you have these two methods. Either you can use the scanner class or you can use the buffered reader class. Now we'll study the steps of how to use these classes. So first is import the class with its fully qualified package name. So if you wish to import the scanner class, you have to give its fully qualified hierarchy. Java util and scanner separated by a dot, by a period. So you have to give like this: java dot util dot scanner, and you have to give the keyword import, import. What do you have to give? Import. So if I want to do this over here, I have to write import java. There's a space over here. There's a space, java dot util dot. So you can use either of these methods. If I give the class name specifically, will only import the scanner class. So if someone comes up to you and says, bro, just give me this movie of Amir Khan, just give me Amir Khan's movie named Dhoom 3. So what will you do? You'll navigate, double click on movies, you come double click on action, and then you see Dhoom 3, you'll right click and send it to the pen drive. Or if he likes all these action movies, he says give me all the action movies of Amir. So what you will do is you will double click, you will right click on this folder and send the entire folder. So he can go home and sort them as per his understanding. So if he wants an individual movie, you can give him the individual movie, double click on movies, double click on action, and right click on this and send it. And if he wants all the action movies, then directly give this folder. So similarly in Java, if you wish to import the scanner class and you know the name of the class, so what you can do is java.util.scanner. But if you know the package name but you don't know the class name, so you can do java.util.star. What will this do? All the classes and interfaces from the util package. So you can use whichever styles you are comfortable with. Those who are using Eclipse have to give it automatically fetches in the latest versions of Eclipse, it automatically fetches the class names. And if you are doing in Notepad, you can use whichever style is suitable for you. This is easier, so you can stick with this style also, no compulsion. So first thing first is you have to import the class. So import the class, and to import the class you should know the class's fully qualified name. So if you want to import scanner, you should know which package it is in. So you have to give java.util.star or java.util.scanner. So once you have imported the class, then what to do? So once you have got the class, is it sufficient? Just merely having the class, is it sufficient? No, you have to create objects of that class. So second step will be, you have to, once you have imported the class, what do you have to do? Second step, create the object of that class. To create an object in Java, we have the syntax. Syntax is class name space object name equal to new keyword. This is a keyword called as new keyword, and the class name followed by round brackets. So if I want to make an object of the scanner class, the class name is scanner. This is my user defined object. You can give any name. You can give SC, you can give S1, you can give SX, you can give scan, whatever name you feel comfortable. I am giving SC. Equals to new scanner. And if you are asked to accept the age of two individual or accept two numbers from the user, which input device will we be using to accept the details? We will be accepting it from the keyboard. So the system.in over here is the keyboard. So from the keyboard we will scan. So the system.in over here means the default input device of the system. The default input device of the system is your keyboard. The default output device is your monitor. So we will scan it from the default input device. This is the syntax. You have to just learn by heart. Nothing much to teach in this line. You just have to learn by heart this line. So this is the way to create an object in Java. The class name, object name equal to new keyword, and again the class name. So once we have got the object, so why do we create the object? So we have got the class, imported the class. From the class we have created its object. Now why do we create the object? So that with the object we can call its method. And which methods are there in the scanner class? Very two famous functions are next int and next float. So now third step is call the method of the scanner class. So you will take a variable called age, integer age, and then you will prompt the user, enter your age. Please enter your age, and whatever age he enters, if he enters 27, how will you scan that? 27 is an integer, float, what? It is a integer. So you will use which function of the scanner class? Next int. So can I directly use next int like this? No, I have to use it via its object. So next int dot sc dot next int. So if I were to accept the height, also of the individual, so if I say please enter your height, so height, the person will say okay 5.11. now what is this? 5.11 is what? Integer or float? Float. So we will use which function of scanner class? We will use function next float, but I'll have to use it via the object. So I will say sc dot next, there's a F capital over here, next float, like this you can use. And once the data comes into the variable, then we know how to manipulate the variable and how to put the formulas and go on with our task. So this was using scanner. If you wish to use buffered reader, there is a small difference, so it's up to you. So buffered reader is in which package? Java.io. So as mentioned, buffered reader is in which package? So once you gradually practice, you'll get a hands-on as to which package which class belongs to. So IO, so your buffered reader, you can think of this empty oval as your buffered reader. This is your buffered reader class. So it is in which package? Java.io. So if you wish to import, you have two ways. So if you know the class name, what you can do is import, the keyword over here, import, IMPORT space java.io.buffered reader with a semicolon, and B capital R capital, because it's a class. Or you can just say java.io.star. So this will only import the buffered reader class, and this will import all the classes and interfaces in the IO package. Both are, for us student level, both are same. Nothing to worry about. We have handsome amount of RAM to process our programs, which are very elementary. So you can use both the methods, will be equally comfortable. So this would, I guess students should use this method, which is easier. Class is done. So just by importing the class, is the task done? No, your task is only 5% done. You have to then create its object. So to create the object of the buffered reader class, there's some twist in the tail. As I told you, no, scanner is easier. So why did I say that? Because if you go to the buffered reader, it has triple layer security. From the keyboard, you have to first go to the input stream reader. On the input stream reader, it goes to the buffered reader. From there, it goes to the variable. So this is the syntax for buffered reader. You can by heart this syntax. This also is learned by heart. Nothing much to teach in this, but it goes through a triple layer security. From keyboard, it goes to input stream reader. From there to buffered reader, and from there to the integer variable. So buffered reader BR is new buffered reader bracket new input stream reader, and then system.in is your keyboard, and close the two brackets. One bracket was over here and one bracket is over here, and close these two brackets. So you have created the object of the BR. Now if you wish to use that, so what will you say? Enter your age, and BR, the function is read line. If you are using BR, the function is read. BR doesn't do any specific, it uses only one function to read integer, character, float, everything, only one function, that is read line. This is for your understanding, for beginners. As you dive deep with the BR function, when professionals they use BR functions, they have many flavors of it. As you all are beginners and you all are just learning the ABCD of Java, so we are just restricting you all to this. Just BR has only one function called as read line. So what are we expecting? Enter your age. The user will enter 7. So 7 will be BR will read it as a string. How will BR read it? It will read it as a string called as number string 7. Then you have to pass it to your data type. So this we need to convert this 7 into an integer 7, right? So we will say integer.parseInt and store it in the variable age. Similarly, if we are accepting the height, now using BR, what will we do? Please enter your height. So the user will enter 5.11. That 5.11 will be treated as a string. That we need to convert it to a float. So we'll do read line, and what will we do over here? Float dot pass float, and we will store it in the variable height. Once we have received it over here, then we can go on with our program. I've written two programs for our understanding. Let's go through them. So the first program which we will be studying is using scanner, right? So we had done this in the video. So let's open this program for scanner. I'll upload the links of all these files in the description. You all can view it from there. So the program is very simple: add two numbers and accept the numbers from user. So what are the three steps? Import the class, because it is a predefined class. Create its object. The object is user defined, because as I told, you can give object name as SC, S1, whatever name, scan, whatever name you wish to give. So the object is user defined, the class is predefined, and then invoke the class methods. So let's start. The first what we do is import the class java.util.scanner, make your class. Then we have two variables n1, n2. Then we made the object of the scanner class. Scanner SC is new scanner, and then please enter number 1. That number one is an integer, so I will use sc.nextInt. We have created the object, so that using this object we can call methods of the scanner class. Similarly, enter number 2, sc.nextInt n2. Once you have got the numbers, do the addition and display the result. As simple as that. Similarly for BR, those who wish to use BR, BR is a bit complicated, but we'll try to simplify it for you all. So which package did I import? io.star semicolon, class BR demo. And okay, whenever you're using BR, it always throws, BR is a bit notorious, so it always throws exceptions. So you have to, after the line where the main finishes, after string args, right, throws IO exception, IOE capital throws IO exception. Three variables we have: age1, age2, age3. How do you create the object of buffered reader? Buffered reader BR is new buffered reader, bracket new input stream reader, system.in. Enter age of first person, so we'll br.read line, but as the age is integer, we will say integer.parseInt and store it in the age1 variable. Similarly for age2, add them and you can go on with your methods. So this was a small demo of how to use the packages, how to import the packages, how to create the object of scanner class, how to create the object of buffer reader class, and then how to go ahead in the program. I'll be uploading all these files in the description link. You can download it from there. Okay guys, till we meet next, take care and do like and subscribe to the channel. Bye.